everybody, it's Chandra from Herbert Evans. Welcome back to another week, another episode. Today I'm going to do a little bit of an art supply haul. I didn't buy enough stuff to make it a huge art supply haul, but I did buy quite a few stuff. I wanted to test out to see if it's good enough quality for the kids I teach to be able to use, and good enough quality for the art projects as well as hobby paintings, because not everything I do needs to be archival quality. So this is a little bit of a random mix from school stuff and hey, I'm kind of an artist trying new things haul. So bear that in mind. I'm going to jump in with paper because I got quite a few different types of paper, and I'm going to go from the super cheap paper to the most expensive paper I got. So you may remember this from my first videos. This is the Watson watercolor paper. It's 180 GSM. There are 16 sheets in a pack. What I like about this is it's 50 Rand for 16 sheets for A3, which is almost next to nothing. Because it's only 180 GSM, it's not going to take a lot of water. You do need to tape this down, especially if you're going to be working very wet. It's kind of rough. It's a rougher grain watercolor paper, so you're not going to get that soft, smooth color effects illustrators prefer. If you turn it around, because it's reversible, the other side is smoother, but it's still not smooth watercolor paper. This is great for wanting to practice textures, wanting to see if your idea will work without having to spend a fortune. They also have the A4 pad, which is also 50 Rand. So preferably I think this one's the bigger bargain, because if you want to use A4, tear this in half and you have 36 sheets of A4 rather than 16. But at 50 Rand you can really afford to buy both. Then I got this from Reeves. It's watercolor board. So it's mounted. If you don't know what watercolor board is, it is mounted watercolor paper. And because it's mounted, you don't need to stretch it and you don't need to tape it down when you're busy working with it, because it's supposed to not wobble. I know Reeves isn't the best quality watercolor, best quality anything, but they're fairly good quality for school. So I bought a pack of these to test them out for my school kids. I will be doing a demo video when I test them out, so that should be up in the next 2-3 weeks, I think. I'll let you know what I think about these though. It's 90 Rand for 5 of them, which I don't think is very expensive if they do what they're supposed to do. Then I got myself a really nice little sketchbook to carry around. This is its original cover. It's the Patinate sketchbook. I think it's Japanese. I'm fairly sure it's a Japanese sketchbook from the binding. I'll show you now. So it's got Copic binding. Hope you can see that. Copic binding, which means because it's Copic binding, it will lie flat when you're busy working, which is awesome, because when you're busy working on an art project, the last thing you want to do is fold your paper weirdly. I've torn a few sheets out from it. It didn't damage the binding or the sketchbook. Don't think you're supposed to take too many sheets out though. It works really well with pencil and light ink work, preferably ballpoint type of ink, not your fountain pens. If you're wondering about the picture, I drew this a while back. This is my most liked Instagram picture. Please go check my Instagram out if you're curious. This is super simple. I'll do a tutorial on how to do these for birthday presents and so on. Then I got this, which is Piano watercolor paper. Look at the flower, isn't that pretty? I think that kind of suckered me into buying this. It's 300 GSM watercolor paper, 16 sheets. It's cold pressed, so it's actually quite smooth. It says it's easy to tear off, acid free, which means it's archival quality. What I like personally about it is it's gummed on both sides. You can't see it on this side though. It's gummed, so you can work directly on the pad. You don't need to tear them off and then glue them flat down. You can just work straight up if you're doing a normal watercolor thing. I do, however, think that if you're going to do something very, very wet on wet, maybe tear the sheet off and tape it down before you work. You don't want to accidentally ruin the other paper on this. Okay, so that's it of my paper. I'm going to go to pens next. I recently got myself a fountain pen. I loved using fountain pens when I was in high school and kind of missed them, and then I saw this one for a fairly reasonable price. I think it was about $180. It's got a medium-sized nib, so it works quite well for writing, it works quite well for drawing. Because it's only $180, I don't feel too bad about chucking it in a bag, and it's got and because it's of its nib, I kind of abuse it when I'm working with it. It uses refillable ink cartridges, but you can get an ink converter, which I'm looking into getting. So you can just load your own ink into the ink converter and make it as many different colors under the rainbow as you want. So I'm actually quite chuffed with this. I would recommend it. It's a Pelico student fountain pen. You can get them at P&A or Forum. Then I got this, which is a Pilot brush pen. Sorry, it's a Pentel brush pen. Pentel brush pen. Brush pen is quite self-explanatory. The nib is a brush. And what I like about these is this whole bit here, so this whole barrel is the ink cartridge. When it's empty, you just take it off, put a new cartridge on. These last unbelievably long. The ink on this goes unbelievably far. So you almost have that moment in shock and horror when that runs out of ink because you didn't expect it to, because I think I drew about 3 years with this before I needed to replace the barrel. That's how far the ink goes. The other thing I like about these is if you work quickly enough with water and a paintbrush while you're busy drawing with this, you can get those soft watercolor effects with the ink. But once it dries, it's done. It's dry. It will not budge on you. I really like that. Then I got these. These are the Pilot ones. Pilot lettering pens. They're calligraphic pens. So they have the thicker nib, but it also makes a very fine point. I hope you can see that. Which means they're absolutely great for doing line work and joints. I got the 3 and the 1. The 1 is much finer. I've used them in a video recently where you can see it doing the thin line, and then just by moving your hand a little bit, you get that much more beautiful, thicker calligraphic lines and the thinner lines. They work really great for drawing. When you are drawing and you're starting out, don't be afraid of trying to do sweeping line work. The only way to get good at line work is just to go for it. If you screw up, use cheaper paper, so it's not the end of the world. I can also do a video on showing you how to make your own paper with the paper you screwed up with. I think that's a good video for it in the future. Then, the last of my haul was my biggest part of my haul. Was slightly expensive also, but I've always wanted it. I got myself the Letter Set Pro markers. They've recently been rebranded as Winston & Newton, and because of that, the art stores are getting rid of the ones that still say Letter Set. It's the exact same marker. It even says Winston & Newton Pro marker. They're normally about 120 Rand each. These I got at 25 Rand each, and then they were marked down even further at the till. So much so that I kind of went a little bit overboard when I bought them. But I got some really nice ones. So I got the normal Pro markers, which is the alcohol and pigment based ones. Then I got the neon markers, so they're much stronger, brighter, bolder colors. I got a few metallic ones. I don't think I'm going to find a metallic one at the moment. And then let's see if I can see it. Maybe having thrown them all together in one thing wasn't the best idea, but anyway. And I also got the aqua markers. I did test them out recently on a video. You can go watch it. They work really nicely. They work a little bit like a mixture of watercolor ink and a marker. So you have to work quickly. I think the paper I used was horribly wrong for them. But at the same time, you get the lovely sweeping colors if you blend quickly enough with the brush. They even come with their own little brushy pen. I don't think this is the best quality brushy pen. I would use the Pilot or the Pentel brush pens if I was going to use it that way again, or just a normal paintbrush with a clean paintbrush with clean water. I think those would work better. But this was the extent of my haul. Not the case. The case is one of my own. But this was the extent of my haul. It was quite excessive. But I've always wanted these, and I'm really happy I got them. Then they also had little kits available. Kits looked like this. This is the skin tone ones. So they go from the really darker skin tones to the lighter ones. You can't draw all the skin tones with these, but you're going to get a much more realistic skin tone variant than when you do with a normal skin colored pencil. I've never met anyone that color, but anyway, so check these out. They're actually quite nice. And then I also got the ranges from black to gray, also awesome. This is the last of my haul. This is not part of my art supplies, but I use it in a lot of my videos for the voiceovers. I also use it in the podcast, which will be going live soon. Check it out next week, hopefully Thursday. If I remember correctly, it should go live Thursday. But yeah, so this is my microphone. Kind of looks like one of those 1940s style microphone. It's got voice areas here and here and here, so it works quite cool with podcasting, which is also one of the reasons why I got it. It connects straight into my computer. Unfortunately, it doesn't connect into my camera, but I'm going to be checking out if I can get it to connect into my camera. And what it does is it picks up a range of sound. You can adjust the range of sound it picks up. So really great, really compact. It comes with a little bag, you can carry it in. It's a Samsung one. A few of my friends are podcasters and this was the one they recommended. I'm really glad I've got it. So if you're interested in podcasting or just doing voiceovers for your YouTube videos that doesn't sound too crackly, this is the one. And that's it for today. See you again next week, hopefully, and have fun drawing. Bye.